Hello again. I can't believe it's already been a week. It feels like it's only been a couple days. I mean, I guess a week is only a few days, but it feels like this week has gone by very quickly. I've had a lot of fun social engagements in London this week, a lot of reconnecting with people I haven't seen in a while, incredible conversations, and beautiful, beautiful weather. I feel like just about every day has been incredible here, and it's been very full on. I've needed to rest a lot. And it's good. I feel like the next steps are kind of beginning to make themselves known. You know, things are clearing up a little bit more every day. It feels good. I've met so many people who are doing such incredible and interesting work and just having wonderful lives over the last week that I've had a lot to think about. I went to a fundraising event for psychedelic science. So this was an event that was put on by a number of people who had just graduated from this program at Exeter about psychedelic-assisted therapy. And so this event had lots of psychedelic-assisted therapists or people who are interested in that line of work and from different angles, different backgrounds. So it was really cool just like having those conversations about different substances, what we know, what we think we know about how they affect us and how to work with them, different strategies, different perspectives, different times in our lives when things are useful or not. Just really wonderful conversations. So one of the organizers comes from a bioregion known as Cascadia, which is technically in the US and Canada. It's a bioregion. So rather than using political borders and boundaries like being in a state or a province, it's a region sort of defined by geographical features. So like a mountain range and, you know, the sort of microclimate. And I think that makes a lot more sense in terms of how we would define an autonomous social region rather than random political boundaries. I think it makes a lot more sense. So it was very cool connecting with someone who's from that bioregion, who understands and I think identifies with that movement. So it was really cool having that conversation. I also met someone who went to India to stay in a monastery to take vows. And there were a lot of Buddhism conversations. I met so many interesting people and had just really magical moments. I had a lot of like lack of sleep and then having to catch up on sleep. I went to a queer tantra event, which was not what you would maybe think or imagine it would be, but we were gathered in the basement of a pub listening to music that was geared towards different chakras and sharing with each other how that was resonating or not in our bodies, in our minds. And it was just nice to get to know people who were at least interested in a more subtle, sensitive way of living and perspective on life. Many of the people who were there worked in sort of social services or psychology in terms of their educational background. So there was a lot of overlap of experience as well. And I've had a wonderful reconnection with my friend Tyler in the park. We had wonderful conversations there. Getting to be in Finsbury Park again was lovely. I ended up going to Brixton as well and sort of, you know, reconnecting and revisiting Brockwell Park. I saw some, so recently there's been this thing where there was, this was brought to court about the use of Brockwell Park in terms of the festival uses of the park. And it turns out that they had been booking more festivals than they were legally allowed to, and that was having catastrophic effects on the nature in the park, but also the residents of the area, their access to the park. It's difficult because when the summer comes, you just want to be in the park all the time. But when they have these festivals, it's not just a festival in the park that you can just go to. There's one that is actually free for everyone, but most of them you have to pay for. And they put up huge walls around most of the park. Like, it takes up the majority of the park, and you can't access it, and it's damaging to the grounds. So, yeah, sure, if you had one or two of those a year, that might be okay, but there was a lot happening. It was most of the summer that this is up, and that's too much. So these walls, it's like basically the summertime now, and the walls are up again. And so there, I saw like graffiti speaking to the dissatisfaction, frustration, and anger with the way that has been managed and handled. Fortunately, there was like a legal win on that front. So they managed to win the court case, and they'll be reducing the amount of festival time during the year. So that's a big win. I took a picture of the graffiti that was being washed off the wall. I thought it was kind of funny. I'm not sure if I can really articulate why, but it was funny watching someone wash the graffiti off the wall. Yeah, and then later that day, I went out to the canal in East London with my friend Sorsha, and we just wandered up and down the canal, had a really nice evening at sunset. Just really lovely reconnecting after all this time. And even though I was so exhausted, but it was still really fun. As having coffee with my friend Ezra, which was so lovely. We talked about everything. It was beautiful weather. We went for a walk. We were talking about the fabric of reality and consciousness and the nature of the soul. All of these fun topics to muse about, to philosophize about. We had a really great conversation. And it turns out that we're staying in very close places in London, so we're going to reconnect again later this week. And then after that, I got to reconnect with my friend in New York, who, it hasn't been that long. We make sure that we call regularly. But that was really fun as well. And then after that, I had lunch and went out to the spa with someone that I met on the weekend. We had a wonderful spa day. I felt like I was really reconnecting with a very like creative source within me, or through me, around me. And then this week I'm hoping there's a class that I'd like to attend doing like some acrobatic stuff. So at the fundraising event on the weekend that I went to, they had acrobats performing with like suspended rings. Like, there's like a hoop, and acrobats kind of do various poses and things on the hoop. And there were a few different performers doing that. And then they had one hoop that was just sort of like open and available that anyone could use. And I didn't really see anyone else using it. And so I thought I would take full advantage because I've always wanted to try it. And I got up there and I started doing things, and I figured out a few things. But I wanted to do more, and it was a really great workout. My body was really feeling it the next day. So I was talking with with one of the performers who teaches a class. So I think I'm going to go to the class this week and see how that goes. So that's my update for the week. I hope that you're well. I hope you're enjoying the beautiful weather. I'll check in with you again next week. Bye.